Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to the showdown between the Ogre Kingdoms and the Dinosaurs. It's going to be myself with Greasus facing off against Professor Pone, who is going to be using Tic-Tac-Toe, so certainly two very memey lords. And the shockingly obese is going to be bringing some pretty scary tools to bear. We do have two of the harpoon launchers, which I can't remember the last time you saw those, but they actually do pack a bit of a punch, as well as some scrap launchers as well. So very single entity focused build. Greasus is obviously a bit of a meme element, but maybe there's going to be some secret tech we find out here. Should be fun. And for Pone, his army is, I wouldn't say standard by any stretch of the imagination. Standard dinosaurs is like a 20 stack, not 20 stack, but a huge army with a Saurus and a Life Slant and that sort of stuff just to get that sustainable grind going. But yeah, he's got some Saurus Spears, which are good against Ogres. He does also have Chameleon Skinks and some Javelins, all kinds of good tools. Now for my build, it is, like I said, going to be the shockingly obese, and honestly he's just pretty terrible, but he's very fun. So we're going to be rolling up on his motor scooter, taking him straight to Walmart, baby, and trying to see if he can get some good fights. Now these are the things I'm really excited about. We do have these stone horns with the harpoon launchers. So obviously they're stone horns in all form and function, right? They're pretty good at fighting against melee units. They cause terror. They're incredibly durable with 110 armor and 20% missile resist. But look at the damage the harpoons do immediately to pterodons. So there's two dudes on top, and they have these like harpoon rifles. You can see they're going to be going hunting here in just a second, ripping another shot, and you can see the shot will be going down in just a moment. 1, 2, and a 3, and immediately picks off a model and does a lot of HP damage. So I kind of was stoked on these. I was thinking about other applications and other matchups in which the harpoons could be pretty good utility in the early poke. And scrap launchers, of course, are going to be very good against Saurus. So I'm just going to sit those on top of Saurus Warriors. And the idea was to have the shockingly obese go out and just absorb all this ammo. So he's just going to be just eating it right in the face. I was like, let's go. And, you know, I thought he had more armor. For some reason, I thought he was Grom the Paunch. I was like, oh, he has like 100 armor, even though they're both just shirtless fat dudes riding on chariots. But for some reason, Greasus only has 55. So he gets pounded pretty hard by the Skinks. And with Greasus, when you commit with him, you can't really retreat after that. He's very slow at 34 speed. Well, he's poisoned right now, so he's at 34. So he's not really going to be able to get away super efficiently. But we do have Troll Guts, so we have plenty of healing here. The Butcher of the Great Maw is going to be dropping the fat heals. And Professor Pone probably has a full hard-on for a kill right now. So you know he wants the shockingly obese one. And all those darts are going right in the face. And I'm going to be trying to save him. So Greasus did his part. You know, he absorbed 5,000 or 6,000 damage, and it's just going to be pulling back now. In the meantime, though, harpoon launchers getting big damage in. So one Pterodon Rider's basically dead, the other one's on death's bed as well. And I even remember I was on Discord with Pone during this game, and he was asking me, he's like, how the hell did you kill my Pterodon so quickly? Was it the Doppler Trappers? But no, it was the Forbidden Tech. So a couple Saber Tusks move up just to chase off these Skink Skirmishers, and they are able to get the job done. So all the Chameleon Skinks are going to be fleeing, while in the backfield we do see a call-in of Pterodon Riders. And he is going to be getting a triple cap out of the gates. Obviously, my build is one of those builds that's just designed to accrue value and then push up and capture the points a little bit later on and hope for the best. So first call-ins are going to be Ogre Bulls with Iron Fists. Obviously, against all the Javelins and poking pressure he has, having some sort of missile resist is going to be very good. And the Colossodon Hunters are obviously very solid against large targets. So they fly in looking to maybe isolate these Stone Horns, but it's going pretty good. The Harpoons are able to pick off so many of these models, so we're just straight up Moby Dicking these bad boys here, as they look like they want to go for the kill on Greasus. Not sure, maybe going to be driving the backfield, but looks like it is going to be an Alpha Strike, so he will be using the Manscore Summon in tandem with the Colossodon Hunters, thinking that that would be enough back here. But the thing is, like, even basic Ogre units have 90 weapon strength, so if they get the jump on you, they're going to be doing some work. And he does pop Toad Rage, that's going to give him a little bit of damage. Manscore Summon going down. And I am officially stuffed back right now. I am triple capped, but we do see the rock lobbers or the scrap launchers getting some good work in. And now it's time to sound the horns of war, as these stone horns are going to get in. And these things are really good against infantry, like really good. Like when Warhammer 3 first came out, they were one of the big shining gems of the Ogre meta for sure. They did really well. Not the Harpoon variant per se, but the basic variant. But yeah, these things are... yeah, they're getting some work in. Granted, these Saurus Spears are certainly very hardy foes. But we do face off and are able to push back against the Colossodon Hunters, actually killed to the last. Greasus in a little bit of danger here. Pone obviously wanted to kill Greasus, so he's got the Manticore Summon and some Skinks sitting on the side here at Ostucci Castle, putting some big blows down on the shockingly obese. The Troll Guts is going, and there's one thing Greasus is decent at, and that's sitting and fighting large targets. So now we're going to be making a push on a couple objectives. It is 3.6 to 2.3, but all of my opponent's damage value more or less is on Greasus. So for the most part, I mean, the Pterodon Riders are a little bit beat up here. Not Pterodon Riders, excuse me, these Stone Horns. I saw this thing flying here. My brain got confused, but we do use the Dismember ability, trying to slow down Tic-Tac-Toe. Send in some Ogre Bulls with Iron Fist as a bit of a distraction, and we are going to be pulling back, getting those Harpoons back online, stabilizing our characters, and trying to push the other objectives. Now on this side, we do get the Ogres over here, so the Iron Fist will be able to clear out those Skinks very, very easily. And we're going to be starting our play for the other points now that we have a decent value lead. And like I said, we fielded a lot on Greasus, and he's still got a little bit of fight left in him, man. He's hanging back here. Scrap launchers working on these Sarsa spears, and meanwhile in the front, my poor ogres, a little bit overwhelmed here. Certainly not going to be having a very, very good time. And yeah, Salamander's called in too. So in the backfield, Salamander hunting packs. If you guys are a little bit newer to the game, these things are really good against anything that's big and lightly armored. They have 95 missile strength, anti-large bonus. It is super solid. So the Ogre Bulls with Iron Fist are going to be forced to retreat. Meanwhile, the Salamander hunting packs cruising up in serious numbers. So I need to find a way to deal with those. However, Ogres are really good at stealing objectives. We get some good mobility here. The Ogre Bulls with Iron Fist move up on objective 2, and this point is now going to be taken by us for sure. Iron Fist will take these skinks to Pound Town. Granted, they do have the dreaded aquatics trait. It's coming into play. The aquatics meta is upon us. And these skink cohorts still going to lose that fight, but at least I get to finally use that beloved trait. Now, a little bit of lapse in micro myself. I didn't see this coming here. I was super focused on the SE micro and trying to keep Greasy alive over here, so my poor Ogre Bulls are going to get karate chopped, and I do miss a big charge bonus on them. So that was a pretty colossal mistake. That could cost me a lot of ground here. In the meantime, my Harpoon launchers are getting taken down by a lot of Lizardmen focus fire. Salamander hunting packs coming in, Chameleon skinks, a lot of DACA. And Greasus Goldtooth is going to be getting unsummoned right now. This is like the most haggard shit ever. You guys ready for this? Greasus is just going to... He's like... It's like in the Matrix when they escape the agents. But he gets unsummoned, and the last second, Greasus, the shockingly mysterious, teleports away from these skink. Oh, that was so funny. So yeah, he just gets wrecked pretty good. And now we're seeing their army a little bit beat up here. I do also see the Salamanders are slightly bunched up, so I call in some Saber Tusk packs. I swarm in from the flank and am able to tie them down, and that's going to allow a little bit of time for these Stonehorns to get the effects of Troll Guts and really start rampaging through the battle lines. And that's what's cool about Scrap Launchers too, is they're basically SE Chariots on top of that. So you can get them in combat. Our Ogre Bulls do flank from the side. Salamanders get caught out a little bit. And over towards objective number 3 here, we got this one on lock. As more Cold and Spear Riders going to come in. A very good choice against the Ogres. Many Ogre Bull units do not have the best armor piercing. So having these anti-large cavalry to kind of nibble them down is typically going to be pretty good, since my guys can't punch back super effectively. But we are going to be calling in some heavy hitters. So in the backfield, we get the Mournfang Cavalry. Mournfang Cavalry with Troll Guts are so beast mode. These guys will absolutely club Cold and Spear Riders. They'll take them to the club for sure, and the candy shop. So we see those guys retreating back, and back in the middle side of the map, we do see objective 1 being contested, but now these shockingly obese legions do advance. The middle belongs to the dinosaurs, but for the most part, we got this one on lock. We have the Stonehorns, who have 3 capture weight apiece. I don't know what Scrap Launchers have. It's either 2 or 3. And Nobbler Trappers are in, Saber Tusks, and the dinosaurs are pretty much routed off here. Tic-Tac-Toe's up in the sky, but, you know, Tic-Tac-Toe probably couldn't even defeat one of these Stonehorns in straight-up combat. Maybe the injured one he could, that's at half health, but it would still be a tough fight. So right here, we do see a gooning attempt. Professor Pone going to be trying to get back in the game by going after the Butcher of the Great Maw, but unfortunately for him, his Coldland Riders don't know what they're up against here on this side. They do get engaged by the Mournfang Cavalry, and they thought their Spear support was a little bit closer, it looks like, but it was not, and the Mournfang Cavalry should be able to annihilate them. They're a very, very strong cavalry. Honestly, Ogre units, their big, heavy cav in general, are pretty decent. You know, the Sky Striders, they get nerfed pretty, not heavily, but they got a cost increase. So I think just the cheapest variant, like the Mournfang Cavalry with great weapons, if you're looking for a solid anti-large cav unit, it's going to get the job done. They'll be able to defeat these Sarsa as well. So here we see some spears coming in, but they shouldn't have too good of a time considering there are Nobblars as well as Ogre Bulls. Middle objective's going to be flipping back to us, and the dinosaurs do get a bit of a rally on this side. They do get their Skink Priest as well as the Manticore, who are able to chase back my Butcher of the Great Maw, so he is going to be fleeing the scene. I have a huge value lead though, 8.6 against 4.5. We've been able to pick a lot of good engagements, and on top of that, we do have a ton of healing with the Troll Guts, most of which went on Greasus, but several of them did go on top of the Stonehorns here. So we've got to be pretty well ahead in this situation. In the backfield, there are going to be some Nobbler Trappers coming in, maybe able to peel off for the Slaughtermaster, but most likely not. But that is basically going to be a triple cap here, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't see too many avenues here for the dinosaurs to come back. I'm pretty heavily entrenched. You want to see a massacre because you're about to see one. These Golden Spear Riders are going to get charged by 2 Stonehorns as well as these guys. So just look at the HP as the Stonehorns get in. Just absolutely melts them, and then the Mournfang Cav come in as well. I mean, yes, these are anti-large cavalry, but without support against, you know, this is like easily 4,000 or 5,000 gold worth of units against a 900 gold unit. You're going to have a pretty bad time. So that is probably pretty much it. More Coldland Riders coming in. I do get the triple cap, but the value lead is so huge here that we are going to be closing it out. Now, against traditional dinosaurs, I don't know how well this would have worked. Stonehorns are very good against hordes of infantry and are also very resilient with their missile resist and high armor, so Salamanders don't kill them super quickly. Razordons would kill them a little bit faster. Here you can see we call in some Lead Belchers on the side. We're going to be ripping through these units, but we'll just talk a little bit about the matchup while this game closes out, because, you know, I respect you guys too much to show you a game that is clearly over and pretend like there's more to be had. Unless it's a live game, of course, then, you know, we got to keep the show going, but here it's very, very over. There's not really going to be much that they can do. Just kind of clean up. Tic-Tac-Toe gets his butt kicked by these Stonehorns, but You know, Greasus was obviously a main pick. I'm playing with my boy Pone. We like to mess around with kind of weird choices, and sometimes you discover things that you like. And honestly, I can see a couple situations in which I might bring the harpoon launchers. Harpoon launchers. I think against not Professor Pone. God, my brain. It's late. It's like 2 a.m. right now. I'm recording. But against maybe the Chaos Dwarves, for example, I think they might have some applications against like the trains and monsters, and also be very good against the infantry. They have missile resist, so they can endure some of the artillery shots, perhaps. Here you see a big T-Rex being called into the back as well. But yeah, you can see no ground has been taken, nothing. We're just kind of camping in spawn zone at this point. So clearly it is going to be a pretty favored ending there. But yeah, I like the Stonehorn Harpoon launchers. They felt really good. Scrap launchers have always been good. 1,300 here, 800 on this one. Here we get 3,000 and 3,400. Greasus only got 275, no shocks there. And for the rest of our army, this is what it looks like. But obviously, this isn't meta at all. I think if we faced off against a really sweaty meta lizard build, we probably would have been crushed or would have had a very hard time. Maybe we could have up-traded on value, but we would have lost out on objective. So obviously, what you would do in that case is you would switch out for Greasus and just get a basic Slaughtermaster for healing. And then maybe you would just go wider with like Noblars and a couple Ogre Bulls in your starting army. And maybe you could get some work done against the Mass Hordes of Saurus. I'm not sure. I'd have to think about that one. Yeah, I really, really do like the Harpoon launchers. Where else would they be good? Maybe against like Tomb Kings they could be useful at shooting some of the constructs. And anyone that has artillery, I feel like they'd be pretty good against as well. But let me know if you guys have played Ogres a little bit, maybe on ladder in some of the tournaments. Where have you had success with the Harpoon launchers? I'd be very curious to hear about that. So Tic-Tac-Toe did okay. He paid for himself. Saurus with Spears did fine. These were the ones grinding on the bottom against waves and waves of Ogre units. And yeah, it was a fun one. GG, well played. We'll see you guys next time. Take care of yourselves. And that's going to be it for tonight.